Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ravori Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. And we are here having our Ravori Sports Conversation. This will be a little bit of a barbershop conversation tonight we're going to have for y'all. So, like and subscribe all of our Ravori Sports content as well. Definitely, too, Genesis Notary Services in Winchester, Virginia. If you know, you know. So, we appreciate all of you out there that have reached out to us. As well. I had a busy day today that I'm recording this with the notary business. So we appreciate all of you out here that in the Winchester area that are supporting it. Definitely too, ravorisports.company.site. So definitely too, if you want hats like the one I am wearing, definitely too, you can go ahead and check that out as well. You get hats, jerseys, and definitely check out our Fanatics links. We're doing these during the games as well. Oriole games, we're doing Fanatics links as well. Ravens games, not too far away from the Ravens, so we'll go ahead and get that squared away. And see, Charles Harris, we are Legal Shield. Legal Shield is available for you. Definitely, too, if you're running a business, Legal Shield is a great resource for you. Legal Shield will save you a whole lot of money on legal insurance. Get a will done. I'm telling you, you'll save so much money. I've saved so much money using Legal Shield this year. So definitely give us a call. All right. And we got the guy who has been at this since 2010, right?
Around that time, 22, 2012. Around that time. Definitely a long time.
Yeah. So I thought I had some broad content. This guy here, like he's in with the Ravens, the Commanders, definitely boxing, NBA, all of it is well. So Wole is here from Urban Sports Scene. How are we doing, sir?
Oh, I'm good. I'm glad to be here, man. Charles, thanks for having me on. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir, for your time here. You've been at it for a minute. So let's get to the NBA, man. The finals right here. So we're recording this, and we don't know who's going to win. This may air after it's over, but what we've seen so far, three games. Somebody forgot to tell the Knicks that they're supposed to lose this series, right? Somebody forgot to tell them because they have really answered the bell. First loss the other night here in a long time. What do you think of these two teams as far as are you surprised that they're even here?
Well, I'm not surprised. Well, that's good. Like, I'm not surprised that San Antonio's in the finals. I'm not. If you told me before the season, would I be surprised if the Knicks made the finals? I wouldn't be surprised. But the way the season was going, and they just turned up towards the end of the season, so I'm surprised they've made it to this point. But looking into the playoffs, I'm looking what they did in the playoffs. I just felt like they were a finals contending team or a championship contending team. And I said this prior on one of our shows that I felt like before the series started and before OKC and the Spurs finished, I was like, man, the Knicks and the Spurs, like the Knicks, the Spurs aren't a great match. I mean, the Knicks aren't a great matchup for the Spurs, for that team specifically, just because I think people saw the first two games. Game 3 was different. Wemby played great and played in a great level. And you had Castle and company and Dylan Harper and Fox, all those guys performed to help them get them over the top. But it's what you see from like Cat, a player like Cat and Wemby, because Wemby has to honor a player like Cat when Cat is on the perimeter, because Cat can shoot the three for a big man. He can shoot it at an alarming clip. And then on the flip side, when they move, and I said they're going to probably put Wemby on Josh Hart, which I knew they would. And if that's the case, then you're going to have Cat in the post against a smaller dude, so he has an opportunity to get a bucket if Wemby can't get there on time to play like that free safety position as a defender. But it's just the Knicks play great defense. They got the best closer, one of the best closers in the game, in Brunson. So I'm not surprised from their playoff performance. I'm not surprised that they made it. And San Antonio, they're a talented squad. Like, the best version of San Antonio isn't even in 2026. The best version of San Antonio could be next season and the year after that. So I'm not surprised they made it because they have a great, not just Wemby. I think everybody gets fixated on the alien, but they're more than Wemby. They have Like Dylan Harper is going to be a star, not just a good player, but a star.
I agree with you. I think they have 4 guys that can get you 20 plus a night. I mean,
Agreed.
right now, like I mean, Castle is definitely, I think, is not even mentioned as much. I think he's a star. I think Dylan Harper is terrific. I think Fox. I'm not sure he's been healthy here in this series, but I think he's been great. And we know Wembanyama. I think his offensive game, believe it or not, is still developing.
Oh, agreed.
He's still not even. I don't think we've even seen the best of him as well. So who do you think gets the series? Again, we may be after here, but who do you think gets the series? Would you be surprised if the Knicks, because the Knicks have really the Knicks have really shocked everybody with the way they've looked.
Well, and before the series started, I had the Knicks in 6, so I've already had I had the Knicks winning the series in 6. With the way the first the way I thought the way it was going the first 2 games, it could be a sweep. To be honest with you, but I still but Wemby showed how talented and Wemby showed me that he had the will of a champion in Game 3, and not just him though. And I felt and to do that on the road down 2-0, and it's not just Wemby again. I don't want to just put everything on Wemby because I think that's too easy. But people like Dylan, like players like you mentioned, Dylan Harper, Castle, especially Castle, like brought his A game, and then Fox, who's looking like he's getting healthier. To your point, he hasn't been the same because of injuries, but he's getting healthier, and him making like clutch buckets in Game 3. But yeah, I still have the Knicks. I just feel like it's too hard of a hill to climb, losing the first 2 games on the road. And then the Knicks, I don't think the Knicks played a great game in Game 3, and they were still able to stay in that game. I think Game 4, both teams will be desperate. Like you said, this game will be over by that game will be over by the time this recording comes out, probably. But in that 4th game, like you'll have desperate play. So that's what both teams will be desperate.
After this year, where are the Knicks? What do you think? Win or lose? I think that's a better question for the Knicks. The Spurs, we think, is going to be there for years. I think that's way too. Like we could think that the Spurs and Thunder, whoever else is in the way, but the Knicks, I think it's more flux in the Eastern Conference now as well. I don't see any reason why they couldn't be good for the next couple of years. I don't know if they will be, but I mean, I definitely could see it.
I think the Knicks will have it's going to be an interesting problem. I think they'll be around. I don't know if they're going to be a perennial finals team. You have the Boston Celtics, who are going to get healthier. Jason Tatum will be back to pair with Jaylen Brown. You're going to have other teams that kind of rise. The Detroit Pistons will be a better team. They're going to learn from what happened this season. They were a 1 seed, so they're going to get better. You got other teams. You never know with the draft and free agency and whatnot. I don't think of the Knicks as a powerhouse per se, but I do think they're a perennial contender in the Eastern Conference to make it out of the Eastern Conference to the NBA Finals. On the other side, on the Spurs, I think the Spurs have the ability, other than OKC, to be in the NBA Finals every year. Like they do have that type of talent.
I think that's pretty good. I think Boston, is going to have something to say about that in the East. I think this year, I do believe the Celts. They didn't have Tatum for most of the year. I think they kind of was caught flat-footed in the playoffs. And let's not forget the Pacers. Once they get Halliburton back, I think last year actually did get to farther than the Knicks in the East. I got to talk about the Thunder real quick though.
Go for it.
I thought they were better than every team in the league except for San Antonio. They were. I mean, there's talk of tearing it down, bringing in Giannis, blah blah blah. What would you do if you're OKC?
It's not fair for the Thunder because they didn't have J-Dub. You know what I mean? That's the one thing. And like, we don't know what that matchup would have been if they had J-Dub. That's a 20. We saw J-Dub in the finals against the Pacers. That wasn't just an average player. That's an elite scorer. So it's hard to say. They went to Game 7 without J-Dub. Put it that way. Like that says a lot about that team and that organization. I will say this though about the Thunder, which annoys me because I coming out the draft for out of Gonzaga. I like Chet a lot. I still like Chet for most of it. But I started getting red flags with Chet in the Pacers series last year in the finals because I was like, that's a series that Chet should have just dominated. Miles Turner ain't good enough to be even bothering Chet home rim. And then you look at this year's season against Wemby, and I'm not saying that he's supposed to outplay Wemby, but
that was bad.
That was bad though.
There was no
and he's too talented for that. And now I'm on the side. I'm on like almost leaning because I used to be on the fence because they talk about Giannis. This Giannis OKC thing has been a talk thing even from last season after winning the championship. And I used to be in the campus saying, no, you're not trading no Chet for Giannis. You already have a good nucleus. You don't need to trade Chet and J-Dub or whoever to get Giannis. Now I'm on the side right now saying if Chet going to do that, if you can find a way to get Giannis and include Chet and maybe some draft picks, go for it. Because what he did was the worst thing in the world as a basketball player, to be honest with you. Because he didn't compete on the offensive side of the foot. He played scared. Let me put it that way. He played scared.
I think him and Williams have to get better as offensive players. I think like what the Spurs did expose with them is like the SGA is going to get his every night regardless.
Yes,
we know. But I talked about Maryland last year. I kind of used this example. When Jameer Young was on the team, he didn't have players around him who would score when he didn't. They only scored when he had a good night, or they kind of fed off him. And that's kind of what I saw with the Thunder. Like nights where, okay, he's a little bit less, and the Spurs had defense to get him a little bit less. There was no Holmgren. There was no J-Dub. He was out, obviously. Nobody else really. They kind of got exposed there. The offense kind of got exposed in that situation. So I think that's what the Spurs, and it was just enough.
I agree. I agree with you. I think that to your point, I just feel like, not having J-Dub really hurt. Like you see that in that series, it really hurt because to your point, like Shea, like I'm gonna be real, like Shea, his game 7 was amazing. Like it deserved a better a better effort. I mean, better effort from like Chet because he wasn't flopping like everybody said. He shot from a great clip. He had like 30 plus points. He was carrying that team. And I feel, and when you relying on a running mate, a guy who is talented, like a Chet Holmgren, and he gives you 3 points and barely shot the ball, I think it was 1 for 2 or something like that from the field. Yeah, that's disappointing. That's just, you can't tolerate that. Even as a leader, you can't tolerate that.
LeBron, what happens in 2020, in 2026? Should he? I really have no idea. I think retirement, is a thing. I really think that could happen. I really think he might.
Okay, you think we can retire? Okay.
I don't know. I don't think he wants to, but I really think if he doesn't get his number, especially considering what he's asking for, I think Golden State's possibility. I think Cleveland's possibility. I do think New York is not out of the realm. I think that's a little less likely. I do think also to Cleveland. So what do you think happens with the third greatest player of all time? LeBron.
You said third.
Behind Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, of course.
Oh, Magic Johnson's my GOAT. So I will say, who has a good question? I think it's an opportunity. I'm a Laker fan. I grew up a Laker fan. I'm a real Laker fan, so I'll let folks know I'm a real Laker fan.
Me too. So I know what you meant when you said not the current era.
Definitely. So I will say there's a chance that LeBron goes back to LA. There's a slight chance. I feel like there's more. I think there's a better chance of LeBron to go back to LA compared to the Cleveland thing because Cleveland has the under the table deal with James Harden. And I think that kind of hinders them from getting LeBron, to be honest with you. I don't think you can play. I think LeBron's smart enough to know he can't play with James Harden. I think he's smart enough to know that. And he can play with Donovan Mitchell, but he can't play with James Harden. I think he's smart enough to know that. I do think the Golden State Warriors thing is a possibility, though, for some strange reason. I think that does fit a little bit better. I think that's the best situation for LeBron because you have natural shooters around you, and you have a natural shooter in Steph. And LeBron has always been better when he has shooters around him. He has Steph and other individuals who can shoot the basketball. How he and Draymond play together in terms of a guy who doesn't help him space the floor because Draymond's more of that point forward. You have LeBron, so you don't need a Draymond to be a point forward, right? But I do think that is because I know he's met. Him and Steph are cool. I can see that being a thing. But if I had to lean to it, I kind of think that he could come back to LA. But I'm on the side of saying, like, you know what, as an LA fan, LeBron, you can go. It's Luka's team. You can go ahead and retire, bro. You've done enough. Just go retire for real, because there's no situation to me that because you got to take less, and you're not willing to take less. There's no
and I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was going to be the question I was going to ask you. Why is he so bent on getting 50 million? Like, I made the joke about, I talk about Entrapment, the movie, like they're robbing the World Bank, and you asking, they're arguing about the split 7 million, 1 million. LeBron James is worth almost $1 billion. You're really haggling about 50 million at this point. Yeah. What are we doing? Like, what difference does it make?
I'll say this much, man. You're right. I mean, as I'm gonna say this, as human beings, as individuals, because we all question this as fans, right? I'm gonna say this, right? We question this as fans. But a lot of players in sports, they don't care. They care about their worth. They don't care about that money is important to them, because it's not even the money. I've learned this. It's not even the money. It's the status of the money. It's not even the money. It's the status, because a lot of players, there's rare players that take a pay cut. Like, there are rare players that take pay cuts, which is wild, right? When you think about it, like, if you want to, everybody talks about they want to win a championship, but a lot of folks aren't willing to take a pay cut.
There's James Harden types. I got it. There are guys like that. There's snipers.
Brunson has taken a pay cut, so I'll give him credit. He's taking a pay cut. I don't
think even those other guys are still building. Like LeBron at this point.
You talking about because he's an older player, right?
Yeah. Like, I don't think it's gonna. And again, it's easy for me to say I don't have 50 million.
No. I know what you
might be saying this, but
he
needs another 50 million.
No, really? He don't need a 50 million. The problem is he's 40-something balling. That's the problem. If he was 40-something and not balling, he wouldn't even feel entitled. He wouldn't feel entitled to ask for 50. The worst thing to happen for LeBron to ask for 50 million, to be real with you, is when all those players went out and I guess the Rockets or whatever, and he was 40 and still beating younger dudes. That's the worst thing to happen to LeBron's ego at 40. Because I guarantee you it's lesser money that first series with the Rockets didn't happen. I can almost guarantee it. Because Luka was out, everybody read him off. They said, hey, there's no way he's gonna get past the first round with no Luka, no Austin Reeves or nothing. And by them getting past the first round, with LeBron being quote unquote vintage LeBron, that was the worst thing that ever happened to him. But he shouldn't get 50 million. I'm gonna be real with you. He shouldn't. But you can make the argument, if you're the Lakers, in terms of who is more valuable for their team, Austin Reeves or LeBron. You can make that argument about who would you pay.
That's further than I go. I'm not a big Reeves guy.
Exactly.
the point you could make is that, but like, I just don't understand. I don't know if a team's going to give him that.
They shouldn't.
I don't know about that. I think even if I had the cap for him, I don't.
No, they shouldn't. I'll be real with you.
He's not that good of a player anymore.
Well, no, he's still.
I don't think he is.
A 50. He's still a He's still a high level, high end basketball player. Like, he's still a top tier basketball player. Because he's a triple double machine, average 27 points. Still, average like 7. I'm gonna say 7 assists, 6 rebounds, something like that. So he's still a high level player, but at the same time, it's father time. I'm not paying a 40 some odd. I don't care how good. I'm not paying a 42-year-old basketball player 50 million. Period. I don't care if you average 30. I don't even care if you average almost 28 points a game. I'm not paying you 50. You gotta win a championship to give me 50 to be worth 50. Just because you're LeBron James don't mean anything, because the following year you could be gone, and it's not a guarantee that we have you that you're gonna help me win a championship. Because at the end of the day, you're paying somebody 50 million. They gotta help you win a championship. That's how you look at it. When you say that type of a number, that's a we're gonna win a championship type of number. That's not LeBron is bringing people to the stadium, to the arena, because we got. I'm gonna say it's weak. I'm a Laker fan. We got Luka. Folks are coming. They coming to the state. They coming to the arena. So you ain't bringing, and the places you want to go to. The only team the places you want to go to, they're gonna be packed crowds. You're not gonna be hoping, attendance that much. And you're LeBron. You're LeBron.
I just think and again, I just don't understand. I just don't understand like the him and Rich Paul doing that. I just
Well,
at
man,
this
look,
point,
their business. It's all about their business, their brand. You know what
right.
I mean? They're hoping
like
on
Jay
LeBron. Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
like Jay-Z said, I'm a businessman. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got it.
yeah, that's what he is. That's what he is.
All right. Let's do a little football, man.
Go
Your
for it.
your team, the Commanders. You grew up in PG County, so I'm sure you understand. You watch the Commanders
Yeah,
as well. I'm still of the belief that Jayden Daniels is a top 10 quarterback.
yeah.
I think a lot of people have forgotten. I think this guy is a phenomenal quarterback. What say you on the Commanders and what they're going to look like coming out this year?
Man, I think like you said, I think Jaden's a top. Is a top tier quarterback. Last year he was an incomplete because of injuries. Not the best coaching overall for the team. We look. We all grew up in the culture, grew up playing spades and this, that, and the other. I say this for the Washington Commanders, man. With the offseason in terms of free agency, they got they got a lot of possibles, but no definites. And if you a spades player, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you got the seven of spades. That's a
Yeah,
possible.
it's
You
possible.
ain't the
Cause you
you ain't
cutting.
got you don't have the big joker.
You got a big joker.
Yeah, that don't count.
All right. They got it. They look I cover the Ravens too at times. They got Owe, right? Odafe Owe. And Owe is a good, like you would hope they paid him like if you look at the numbers, 25 for 100, 25 mil for like 4 years, 100 million deal, $100 million contract. We know he ain't gonna get all that money, but still, that's what it is, right? But again, that's a guy with the Ravens. He went MIA before they traded him. With the Ravens, his best year was like only I believe 10 sacks or 10 and a half sacks. But when you pay somebody 25 mil a year, you're expecting a perennial double digit sack dude. And he's never been that type of player. Again, he's a possible because he's young. He's not a definite. All right. So a lot of these players they brought in and signed in the offseason, they're Chanel from the Kansas City Chiefs. Possible good player, seems like a solid player. He's a possible, but he ain't a definite. He could probably go up to be a really fantastic football player, but he's not definite. He's a possible. There's a lot. That's the trend of their free agencies, a bunch of possibles. And then it's the Brandon Ayuk saga where he's on social media begging forcing the Niners' hands to release him so it can be a Commander. So, but back to your question about Jaden. Jaden's he's gonna be fine. He's a smart kid. He's gonna. I look forward to him having that a maturation process like we saw with Lamar Jackson. How he's gotten better over time and gotten better to be one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Period. And I'm talking about in the pocket. Lamar is one of the best quarterbacks in the pocket. Period. I think Jayden's on that same trajectory too, as well, being one of the better quarterbacks quarterbacks from as a playmaker and in the pocket. And Jayden's going to be learning a lot more being under center because David Blau, the new offensive coordinator, is willing to put Jayden under center rather than running shotgun all the time. So there's going to be some things that Jayden's going to get to learn. But at the end of the day, I want fans to know who like and watch the Washington Commanders, or even just football fans in general, that Jayden Daniels this is his third year. Really, you can say his second year. He didn't play that much his second year. And there's going to be growing pains, period, in anything. People try to write off C.J. Stroud after he had a bad year last year. But, at the end of the day, C.J. Stroud still has the potential to go back to what he did his first 2 seasons in the NFL.
I think two guys are on the roster that are definitely not maybe big jokers, but spades for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sonny Styles in the draft. I think I love him at Ohio State. I think this guy is a phenomenal athlete. He's got potential. Look, the only reason you get rid of a Bobby Wagner, you bring in a guy like this because he's like going to be all over the field. Mm-hmm. And Terry McLaurin, I think is outstanding receiver for them. I think the line is good. I'm not sure how far they get though this year in the playoffs as well. I think the Giants are going to be better. I think the Eagles we know are going to be good. It's going to be tough for the Commanders, I think, to win. Where do you place them in the division? which has certainly changed the NFTs.
Well, I think they'll be competitive. I think they'll probably be, honestly, I think they'll be better than the Giants because the Giants will be going through a lot of stuff of late. I think that I think the Giants I've said this before. I like the way the Giants are drafted, and I think, but the neighbors thing is a hit though for their in terms of where he's at. It looks like neighbors ain't even close to being ready for the season, and maybe he'll miss most of the season. But he could miss the entire season from what some of these reports are saying.
Yeah.
I won't hate me to say this. I hate this team so much. The Cowboys have a great opportunity to be the best. Has to be the team to win the division. Have a great opportunity. I hate to say that though. It hurts my soul. And I think the Eagles will take a step back. I actually think the Eagles are a team that will take a step back because of that. I mean, as much as he was causing drama with his beef with Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown has been a demon in the NFC East. Like he has been like, I'll say this for the team that I watch, he has owned the Washington Commanders. So to have him out of there is like, to me, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. But I will say I think the Commanders have an opportunity to compete for the NFC East crown. But if I had to like lean to a team, I would probably have to say like right now at the moment, I hate to say it, the Cowboys. I like what the Cowboys have done in the offseason.
I'm not as big on the Cowboys.
Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you.
I'm not. The problem, there's players there, so I know why people like them because you definitely there's Pickens, there's Prescott, there's CeeDee Lamb. I think there's good things, but Jerry Jones, I think, is really turned into Al Davis. There's always going to be some circus going on. I think that's the big problem. Kind of like the Raiders, they could never hardly get it right because of his foolishness. I think they got to work around. I think Jerry Jones is to that point now where it's just a lot of silliness. I don't think you can beat a team like that as well. I think the Giants, not because John Harbaugh is there. I think the Giants really. I think the neighbors thing is really going to hurt them, like you said. That's a problem. But I think definitely too, the coaching is definitely there. For that. Ravens too.
I like that. I like what they did.
Ravens 8-9 last year, below standard as well. Lamar injured. Lamar, I think this was the first time I had, and when I put my rankings out, that I had Josh Allen above Lamar.
I see why last year was down. I see why.
Never done that before. Where I had Josh Allen above Lamar. I've never. Some of the things. It's can they come back? Can they? They're a team. I think they're a little closer than the Commanders, but can they get back to form?
Oh, I think they can. I feel like what I like about the Ravens is, for one, they're going back to their identity, which is defense. At the end of the day, like Lamar, like you can't put that much on Lamar and like carry the like they were hoping for, carry the whole team last season. That defense has always been, in terms of the Baltimore Ravens. Anytime anybody has talked about a good Baltimore Ravens team, it's been owned by that defense. At least bring that back. And I do think bringing Jesse Minter there, a great defensive-minded coach to be the head coach. You got Anthony Weaver, who was in Miami, who had a great defense, had a really good defense in Miami. And some of the things they did in the offseason, like getting Trey Hendrickson, it's going to help their pass rush tremendously. I think that's going to help free up Mike Green. I like Starks a lot, the cornerback. I think he can take his game to the next step. Then you have with the safety. I'm blanking. I'm sorry, not Starks. Starks the safety. Wiggins.
Kyle Hamilton.
Sorry, and Kyle Hamilton too. I know Kyle's a beast. That's a whole different animal. Wiggins. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the cornerback. Wiggins can take his game to the next step as a Pro Bowl corner. Starks, the rookie from Georgia, as a safety, and then Kyle Hamilton is already great. All right, he's going to play. He's going to ball. Kyle Hamilton's going to ball, and then you got Roquan Smith out there in the middle, who I just think Roquan is one of the best middle linebackers in football. With Jesse Minter, it's going to bring everything together. And they brought Campbell back too as well. So they got a good team. I like their team defensively. I think they're going to be really good defensively, which will take a lot of pressure off of Lamar. And they also brought Doyle, who came from the Ben Johnson tree, and that to me is going to open up the offense a little bit more. You have people like Zay Flowers and even Anthony Weaver. Anthony Weaver called him a mad scientist or something like that. And Zay Flowers called him a genius. So they're like, you could tell like the vibes are high in Baltimore. And I think I believe that this team will win the AFC North. I think the Ravens win the AFC North, in my opinion.
I think also too in that division there's issues with those other teams. The Ravens aren't the only teams with problems. I think Burrow, as good as he's been, had some injury issues like as well. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to retire after this year. I think he's already the oldest quarterback in the league. And the Browns are the Browns. I mean, they had
the Browns are the Browns. I love that statement.
I mean, Shador. I'm really rooting for Shador to be good. But we'll see about that. It's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough for the Browns to be any good. I'm really rooting for Shador.
You should though. I'm rooting for Shador too. You know what's so funny is that I know people don't want to hear it because I'm like obviously public opinion about the individual, but if he plays to his level, it's going to be hard for Shador to be Deshaun. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be hard. If he can play to his level, it's going to be hard. I will say that. If Deshaun is still damaged goods, then Shador wins that battle easily. But if Deshaun is like, if he's off of the Achilles and he's like anything close to the Deshaun Watson that was with the Texans, anything close to that, there's nothing that Shador can do about that one. And that's not.
Why is Deshaun even on the field? Why are they even considering that?
That's a question. That's a good question.
I don't understand that one.
That's a good question too. I don't know either. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was surprised he was still on the roster. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then to see him to say that he's in competition for a starting spot, I was like, okay, interesting.
I mean, they have no idea if he could play anymore. He hasn't been good literally in about 7 years.
He hasn't been good when they got traded. They've been hurt. Yeah, about that time. I will say this about for Deshaun with Monken coming from the Baltimore Ravens, running his scheme with Lamar, and which is different from what the prior coach in Cleveland, Stefanski, was running. I will say that this offense, in terms of what Monken was running, is more tailored to a Deshaun Watson compared to the offenses he was been working with in the past. I will say that much. That I will say. Now, will he be good with it? I don't know. I have no idea. But it is tailored to his style. Out of the shotgun, spread. That's his style.
I definitely think, though. I think, I definitely think there's some work to be done there.
A lot of work.
Get that squared away. I got to talk sweet science with you as well. So I watched Jake Paul. I don't know what he was thinking going in there with Joshua.
I love it.
I don't know what he was doing. Joshua is a real enigma to me. Like we had this guy pegged as the best heavyweight ever. He's going to be this star, and to me, he seems to kind of always duck fights. Are we finally going to get Joshua and Tyson Fury? You think this year is we've been hearing this now for
we're going to get it
a long time now.
We're going to get it. We're going to get it. The sad thing about it is, I'm gonna give you full disclosure. So I like Anthony. I'm Nigerian. I like Anthony Joshua. He's Nigerian. So I root for the dude. Like I was one of the dudes, but he's the best heavyweight in this division. Blah blah blah. Like even when him and Deontay Wilder thing was a thing, I was like, he'll squash Deontay Wilder. But we're gonna get it. But it ain't gonna be pretty. Like Fury gonna walk him. Like it ain't gonna look good. He's damaged because to me, and I'm saying this as a guy who supports Anthony Joshua, he's damaged goods. He's done.
Why do you say that?
No, I knew it when he lost. Him fighting Usyk, I knew he was gonna lose to Usyk. Because he would have. I said this for any heavyweight though. I knew Usyk could be any heavyweight, but for any heavyweight, if you want to knock out Usyk and you impose your power, if you can't knock him out, you're not gonna beat him in rounds because he's too skilled. So I knew like those losses would kind of play a part with him. But when he lost to Dynamite Dubois, the way he lost, I was like, and plus even like the way he responds. I always look at boxers the way they respond to certain punches. And Are they wobbly? Do they hold themselves strong with it? And when he gets hit clean, he's not. It's just not good, to be honest with you. The body language is not good. You can see guys like Tyson Fury when they take a punch, they can still handle it. Like same thing with Deontay. When Deontay take a punch, he don't handle it well. So that's when you know they're kind of like, they're not ready. They're not on that class anymore. They're not on that stage. You got smaller guys like Usyk who take a better punch than those guys. You know what I mean? He's a smaller guy.
Well, Fury's submitted forever and a day, even when his first fight with Wilder. I'm still like, how do you get it?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I've seen it 100 times at this point. I'm like, how do you do that, man?
Yeah. So when you look at heavyweights like that, when they can respond and get back from adversity, if they get smacked, and I mean these are mega heavyweights, I get it, but yeah, but Joshua does not respond well to punches. That's when I'm like, if Fury hits him clean enough, and Fury's a great boxer, as a heavyweight, he's a great boxer, like a tactician in that ring. It ain't gonna be pretty for Anthony Joshua. I'm not gonna lie to you, it ain't. So that's a fight I don't really want to see. I would prefer Anthony Joshua fight Wilder, because that's a fight everybody would want to see, because those two have been guys that everybody wanted to see a long time, and I think it'd be more competitive rather than him versus Tyson Fury, in my opinion.
Well, I think Joshua, it's all neck up. I don't think there's anything from the neck down where he has any. He should have been, I think, talent wise, as good as everybody except for probably Tyson Fury. I think that's probably the one that Tyson Fury is just incredibly skilled.
Yeah,
it's just he's got incredibly skilled, and he's just so big of a guy. He's not the body beautiful, he's all that, but he's incredibly skilled. But I think everybody else, he should have won. Wilder, I always liked him. I don't think you need to be, when you have his type of power, all this. It's like use a pro wrestling term. There's no reason to turn Bill Goldberg into Ric Flair.
Okay, you like wrestling. Okay, go ahead, keep going.
There's no reason to do that. Like Wilder's just going to knock you out. That's all you need. Like Tyson was never this. Technically sound guy.
Well, it's different.
Better than Wilder. I mean, if you're going to say, but I don't think Tyson was never this. Go ahead.
But no. I will say this: yes, you don't have to be like Mayweather. I agree with you. You don't have to be like Mayweather, a tactician. Like you don't got to be this technical. Like you were going to use wrestling. You don't got to be the Bret Hart, right?
Right.
In the ring, right? You don't have to be that individual. But there's got to be a clean. And when you're a power puncher, it's got to be clean and smooth and how you throw your punches. You just can't be throwing punches and being all balanced. That's what I call it Mike Tyson pre-jail. Like after jail was whole different. Pre-jail Mike Tyson, it was controlled violence. Like Mike Tyson had controlled violence. Like he fainted, he jabbed, he ducked, he moved. You know what I mean? And then when he went for his prey. He went for it, but he went for it controlled. His punches were accurate. His punches were timed perfectly. Wilder just throws haymakers, which that's when it gets to me. Like you can't throw haymakers in a boxing fight and thinking you ain't gonna get clocked, because now you're open. Like Tyson was smart enough to keep himself closed and tight. Wilder stays open when he throws his punches. Therefore, that's why I'm like, his boxing style it will always catch up to him because he keeps himself too open when he throws these punches. Because you can't, if you think about it, it's like think about it like in this way. Watching a Rocky movie and how Rocky's throwing punches in Rocky movies, you're like, that ain't going to work in a real fight. Why would he be throwing Rocky punches? Let me put it that way. He be throwing Rocky punches.
Well, Tyson is way more skilled in some. Tyson never really refined himself like he could. He could have done many styles. He just liked that Joe Frazier type style. Like Wilder really wasn't that skilled. He hadn't been boxing that long before he became pro.
True, very.
I think the main thing was he was really good as an amateur because of his style. So that's why I was like, why are we trying to ever make him this boxer?
I agree.
That didn't make any sense to me.
I agree.
Why even try?
I agree. I don't think they should try to make him into this like crazy boxer, but I do think you can refine his power, refine how he uses his power. That's all. Like refine how he keeps himself tight to a point where he's not as open. Like at the end of the day, like you do want it. Like he's a power puncher, but you don't want to be as open when when you're delivering those crazy punches, because his power is undeniable, right? It's thorough. No one's going to ever say that Wilder don't got punching power. His punching power is crazy, but it's just like you do want to keep yourself. You don't want to be able to like throw a wild punch, be all balanced, and be right there open for an easy knockdown. You know what I mean? That's what you don't want to be. Like to that epic, it was an epic. I want to say their last fight, Fury and Wilder, when they both were knocking each other down. Like that was like crazy. But Wilder was emptying the tank early because he didn't have the win to keep going. He had to empty the tank early. He wanted to die on his shield. I remember him saying, "I'm gonna die on my shield." You know what I mean? Like, so you just want to be smarter with like the boxing game in terms of you're a power puncher, use it to your advantage, but don't try to throw punches just to throw punches.
Real quick, I'm sad in a way, being from Baltimore, that Tank Davis isn't in this conversation due to various reasons. But who is the best pound for pound? I think he was on his way there if he wasn't already there. Best pound for pound. Who do you think it is right now?
Oh man, it wasn't going to Usyk for me, but that's going to probably change. I like Inoue a lot too. And we're not talking about Bud because he retired, right?
You can put him. I'll take that one if you think that.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna be fair because Usyk's performance against his last performance kind of hurt me. So I don't like that performance. So if I had to be fair, I'm gonna have to go with Bud Crawford. I'm gonna go with Bud Crawford. If we're gonna call it, but we're talking about the current boxers. I would. You know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. I may even let me. No, know what? I'm not going to do that. Scared money don't make money. I'm gonna go with. I like. Look, Benavidez is the man, dog. Benavidez is crazy.
Yeah.
Benavidez is the man for me. David Benavidez. I'm gonna put him out there. David Benavidez is number one right now for me.
I think him and Shakur Stevenson.
Oh yeah, Shakur
is another one. I think this is the next generation. And real quick, the last thing there, Mayweather himself. Look, I almost don't still even believe this. Like he doesn't have money. How is this possible? Seriously.
How is it possible?
I mean, how many women can you sleep with? How many gold chains can you buy for all the money that you made?
That is seriously. This could be a long. That could be. We can close this out, but it could be a long discussion about how is it possible. All right, I'm gonna do this the nice. I'm gonna say this the nice way, because I don't want to insult I don't want to insult Mayweather. Just being irresponsible, man. In terms of this element of like we see him flash all the money. We see him going on being at courtside with bags of money. He just do too much. You can see it. Like you could see it early too. He do too much. And honestly, like 50 pretty much called him out on it earlier. Like, but when they were cool and after they had that little beef. So like I just wish he was smarter with his money. I think a lot of the stuff he likes to do is flaunt and show, and that's cool. But I wish he was a little bit smarter with his money, man. Real talk. I really do.
I'm just like he made way more. I mean, let's not get it twisted about
crazy money. He made crazy money,
way more than everybody else.
Yes,
yes. I don't think there's a guy, not even Tyson or whatever, that made as much as Mayweather.
I agree.
As far as that goes, he didn't even have a promoter at the end of his career, and because that's usually where a lot of these guys used to get guys like Don King, etc. Bobby, and still. Like how many women could it have been? How many?
I'm saying,
or Che. I mean, for you to spend, $100 million for the fight with Conor McGregor, not that long ago.
I agree with you. I'm saying, like, when you look at Mayweather, and I look, like Charles, you've seen people all the time in life, and some people when they just like always flashing money, showing money, this, that, and the other. You can tell what's going to happen. Like, you know what I mean? You can probably tell what's going to happen. You're probably saying to yourself, like, yeah, this ain't going to last. This money ain't going to last. And the way he lives his lifestyle in terms of what he's gambling with, he doesn't, look, and it's wild. And somebody said this, it's so funny. For a guy who don't drink and do anything, like, don't drink, don't smoke, like, don't do any of that stuff, because he's pretty clean. Like, Mayweather's pretty clean to his credit. He do a lot of dumb stuff. He do a lot of dumb stuff. I'm gonna quote another one because it seems like you're a wrestling fan. He lives a straight edge society, CM Punk type of lifestyle. Yeah. And he do a lot, just like the old Phil. Sometimes do a lot of dumb stuff too.
Well, and Punk is the same guy. Like he's been with all the women in WWE. Like he didn't drink, but he certainly got that woman. Like half the roster he didn't.
Yeah. So you get it. So you get it. They're similar. They got some similarities. Put it
that way. Let's talk about your platform, Urban Sports Scene. We talked about it at the beginning. Since 2010, that's a long time. Yeah. To be at the grind. As well. What's we were joking before on camera, like you know, like some black people, we're not urban, we're country, right? Yeah. We always use the term urban as well. Right? And you said the name, your DC guy, the name is Urban Sports Scene. What type of content do you want to put out there? You said you want to put content that's different than what you see, like when we were growing up, et cetera, like in the area.
Yeah, it's just like you were talking about, it's a barbershop mentality, right? You want to have that type of conversation where folks can relate to you and vibe with you, and you want to talk about stuff that that maybe not everybody talks about, but it's still popular sports or sports that folks would need to know, or even in terms of our culture, folks that be cool to be informed with. Like we cover HBCU athletics, and and put out stories or interviews about HBCU coaches and past, current, some legends and whatnot. Or even we were talking about like the sports world of it, and like the professional sports world of it, covering like these local teams, covering like teams like the Baltimore Ravens or the Washington Nationals, the Washington Commanders, the Baltimore Orioles, who are losing right now 6-5. Were annoying the bejesus out of me. But yeah, covering all these local teams in the area and just kind of like diving into it and talking about boxing. Like that boxing is a barbershop talk type of thing. And to bring that out there for folks to talk about, a lot of, like, again, if you put on the radio and listen to, because we started off doing it for the radio mentally, right? That was our mental mindset. We're going to do this for the radio. And a lot of folks don't talk boxing, you know what I mean, on the radio. Or even if you watch Sports Center, has to be a big fight before they talk about it. Folks aren't going to feature like the David Benavidez fight like others would, you know what I'm saying? So we talked about all that stuff. We talked about Usyk. But yeah, we just try to talk about stuff that like
in the barbershops in Baltimore, it was rare we didn't talk about it. Boxing.
Yeah,
it was rare when I was in the barbershop. So I was growing up in Baltimore. It was way like this, and the fight would always start when somebody said something against Mike Tyson.
Yes, exactly.
That was always it. That was always it.
Somebody said I was always the guy to do.
Oh, Mayweather, he was.
Mayweather Pacquiao would start a fight. Like Mayweather Pacquiao start a fight. You know what I'm saying?
So how far do you want to take as far as your platform? Did you want to go into more of a traditional media space, or social media, or what else is you got? Not without revealing anything top secret. What else do you have? What else do you have in your mind?
Well, I just want to make sure I create a lane for folks to enjoy good content. That's how I look at it. Initially, I'll be totally transparent. Initially, everything was geared to like be on a said network or be on the radio, to be honest with you. Everything was geared to that direction mentally. But then it was like, you know what, man, you want to be your own boss. You want to create your own stuff, create your own lane, create your own content, and just have like if you can have a cult like following of folks who support you and rock with you. To me, that's the most important thing. Like a lot of times people get fixated on where they're at, or numbers, this and the other. And I'll say this is advice for anybody. As long as you see individual growth, like growth in your podcast, growth in your numbers, or growth in your work, that's all that matters. But I feel like I personally, the most important thing, I feel like we get the opportunity to tell stories and interview people that people don't get to talk to know about or whatnot, like high school coaches, basketball, like high school basketball players, high school football players, like I mentioned, HBCU coaches, HBCU players, Even certain boxers, local boxers that people don't even know about, we get to put a highlight on, put a highlight and a feature on them. So I think that's just, to me, that's a dope thing to do. Period.
Um, the what are your thoughts on traditional media as well? Um, you kind of had that tone of, again, like every time I bring that, like traditional media as well. I think part of the issue, like for a lot of content creator in DC, you got some of the
Yeah.
same guys. Like I
Yeah.
just saw a feature on the Junkies. Like I didn't know they had been 30 years on the radio.
You didn't know that? Yeah, they've been there for a
Yeah, I didn't
while.
realize till recently. I was like,
Mm.
it's been that long, and it's about, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in high school a little bit after that, and
Yeah.
when they start, yeah. So I'm closer to 50 now. So
Oh, God
that's
did
a
same thing.
long.
Yeah, yeah, same. God
That,
did.
that's
So we getting. I'm getting
yeah, that's,
there.
yeah. So like, is what are your thoughts overall? I mean, is there anybody that you do like currently, not just DC Baltimore market, but anybody in
In
general?
general, I know what you mean. So I don't like. Yeah, I don't like traditional media at the moment because it's not the same as how it was when we were growing up, and I just feel like things are too negative. And I don't like that. I feel argumentative. I think things are going to a different lane. I'm not going to mention a name. I think people can get an idea of who I'm talking about in terms of like national media and how certain folks are tend to go into a lane of not informative but trying to be more entertaining than anything. And I don't
Stephen
like it.
A.
There you
Stephen A.
go.
is
Yeah, you know what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Steve,
talking about. I
Stephen
don't
A.
even. I try not to give him that much attention in terms of his name because he annoys me.
He's a
And
WWE character.
yeah, he
Yeah,
is. He definitely is.
that's what he is. Yeah.
Definitely, that's a great one. But I don't like that lane of just arguing and trying to belittling people, belittling athletes. I don't like that. You know what I mean? So if I had to, but you asked me who are my favorites currently, in traditional space or just like even in just traditional space.
Well, start with the traditional space, but anybody else out
Okay,
there that you like?
traditional space, it would probably have to be. This is tough because the traditional spaces has been real jaded. Uh, Dang, I only want to say, wow, it's that bad. Because a lot of the good ones are not doing traditional stuff anymore. If it's sad. Um,
I've always liked Cowherd. If it's one, I
you
always
like
still,
Cowherd? I
I'm
really
still a
like.
cow,
You
I'm
like
still a
Cowherd?
Cowherd. Yeah,
I
I'm
like.
still a Cowherd guy.
It's crazy. I'm starting to gravitate. I didn't like this dude before a lot, but I'm starting to like his style of doing things of late. Is the Michael Wilbon? I'm kind of starting. I used to not like Michael Wilbon, but I'm starting to like what I like his tact. 'Cause I think there's tact in everything you do. Like he doesn't insult you personally, but he may not like he has his negative things to say like about said player, but it's not as a personal attack. And I think I like that way of doing it in terms of like if you're gonna do media, like
I've
start
always
doing
liked PTR.
yeah, PTI. I like
I
Tony
got,
Kornheiser, but he's
I
not
got,
doing stuff anymore. You know what I mean? So if I had to choose one, it would be Tony, but Tony's not doing
yeah.
stuff anymore.
And in social media, who do you really like?
It'd be Gilbert Arenas. I like Gilbert Arenas a lot. I do. I like his tap.
He's got a lot of drama going on right now with his channel and all that.
Yeah, I know, but I like how he
So,
breaks it down because he makes it like I like how he breaks it down about it because it reminds me of like again being your own boss and learning the game and now trying to implement that when you're doing your own thing as the boss. I like that thought process. When he break out, and if it's true, I commend him for it. If it's totally true, I commend him for it.
Gil,
But
Gil also too. I think his hustle is very much. You can see the guys too sometimes
yeah,
that are putting in the work,
there
like
you go.
the Gilbert Arenas, the Marcellus Wiley,
Yeah,
guys like that, Pat McAfee. They're
yeah,
grinders.
they
They're
grinding,
not.
man.
They're not playing around with people like the Shannon Sharp is another one.
Oh man,
He's putting the work in as well. One last thing, as far as it goes, like
hmm
you've been um, you've been doing a lot. I mean, you've been doing a lot with your platform and everything like that. So, what's the one thing left for you to do? I mean, what do you think that's something that you want to do that you haven't done?
probably. I think we need to do like a live event somewhere. I mean, I did one years ago, and I haven't done it of late. And I feel like that's the next thing that I kind of have to do, especially now with just do like a live event and just hosting it somewhere. I've been saying I was going to do it. I haven't done it yet. I feel like that's the next, like in terms of like just in terms of the near future rather than going the distant future. I think like doing a live event or something like that. In terms of overall, like building this thing to a point where I use this term a lot, and you'll know where I was coming from because again you're a wrestler. I appreciate you being a wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
Putting yourself to a point where you're undeniable.
Right.
Putting yourself to a point where you're undeniable.
All right. And so, which would you rather have happen? So you get picked up by Urban Sports Scene, gets picked up by Channel 7, and you could air it every week, or would you rather have 150,000 followers on YouTube?
Probably 150,000 followers on YouTube.
Okay, that's you answer your own question there. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on X at Urban Sports Scene. I'll give you my Urban Sports Scene stuff at Urban Sports Scene. You can find us on IG at Urban Sports Scene. On X is at Urban Sports Scene with one S when you combine scene and sports. So that's one S in between. And now on all the other platforms, it's spelled out correctly at Urban Sports Scene. IG at Urban Sports Scene. What else we got here? YouTube, Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. And Facebook, we are on Facebook page, Urban Sports Scene. So yeah, you search us out. We out there. And if you want to follow me personally on X for laughs, it's at Wole_USS. I'm there for laughs. Always there for laughs.
All right. This went exactly the way I thought it would. High energy, like I've seen in the podcast. And thank you, sir.
Oh man, thank you.
Thank you very much. And definitely YouTube, Wole, subscribe to the Ravori Sports podcast on all of his platforms. I know you're already on there on X. Yeah. Subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't, and all of you out there watching. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Ravori Sports Conversation. You have a great rest of your day.